Team 1, First Division, last known location, A Adelside, going to see favorite course. We need an exit.
All crews stand by for emergency traffic.
Command to attack Team 1. Head toward the C Charlie side of the B Baker corner. Exit is available. This is command to fire ground. All teams accounted for. Mayday canceled.
Hey everyone, my name is Jeff Dykes with Northern Star Fire. We're going to be shooting a handful of introductory videos letting folks know how the Northern Star works and some of the features that it contains. One of the questions I get all the time is how does it turn on? When we designed this for the last 2 years, we designed it so there's no on-off switch. It's designed from a firefighter's point of view, so there's not extra things for us to take care of. We use a mechanical device in conjunction with an electrical device to turn it on. I'm just going to go over for a few seconds now and show you what that is and how it works. So, here's a Northern Star in its off position. It's off, there's no battery draw. A fully charged battery today is fully charged in several months from now. The mechanical device is when we shock the mask. So we can hit the mask, we can bang the mask on our knee, and when I hit this, you're gonna see a brief flicker of light. Here we go. So there's a brief flicker of light there. That's the mechanical device waking up the accelerometer looking for movement. But as you can see, I didn't show it movement, so it went immediately back to sleep after 2 seconds of shocking it. We put that feature in so if you take your mask and throw it up on the dash, or if your mask bangs maybe while you're driving down the road or you go over a speed bump, we don't want the Northern Star to turn on. We want it to stay off because that would be a false activation. But as soon as I shock it and move it, you'll see it turn on. So I'm going to shock it. Now I'm going to show a purposeful firefighter-like movement, and now it comes on. And now it's going to be acclimated. No calibration, nothing like that. So now we have it on. So how do we do that in real time? Well, if I'm masking up on my front step, reading the building construction and smoke and airflow pass and all that stuff that we should be doing, I simply take my mask and bang it on my knee and give it a shake. Sort of like you're shaking a jug of orange juice. It's going to pop on. That's how it works. If you have your mask already on your face, you can tap your mask and then shake your head from side to side and it will turn on as well. So once the Northern Star is on, the other question we get is, how do we turn it off? Again, no on-off switch. So all it needs to do is stay motionless for 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So the theory is you come out of the fire, your bell's going off, you set your mask down, you take your tank off, you go get some air, you get some water, you report to command. 2 minutes and 40 seconds after you set that mask down, it's going to turn itself back off. And that's off, no battery draw. So at that point in time, if you want to turn it back on again, you have to re-engage that sequence of the shock and the movement. Other than that, it's a pretty simple concept. So as we get ready to install the Northern Star in our mask, a couple things to keep in mind. We need a clean mask to start. So make sure you get a nice clean surface both on the Northern Star, on the back of the Northern Star, and on the inside of the mask itself. Second thing, we need to figure out where we want to put it on the mask. If you use your provided 3M fire rated tape, you're going to find that it bonds pretty well and you're not going to be able to move it easily. Next step then, we need to install the 3M fire rated tape to the back of the Northern Star. So that's pretty simple. We simply peel off the tape and put it on the back of the Northern Star as such. Press it into place, and the instructions say to give it 25 to 30 minutes to set up. It's not a permanent bond, but it is very, very close. So after we've determined where we want to put it in our mask, and we've given it 20 to 30 minutes to set up on the back side of Northern Star, then we have to peel off the opposite side of the tape, which can be a little bit of a bugger. It's like we said, it's very adhesive. So pull that second side off and make sure we know where we want to put it in our mask. Have it marked. Go ahead and press it into place, making sure it fully adheres. And again, give it some time to set up. But that's it. That's the full installation. There's nothing more than that. After it fully sets up then, we're going to go back and we're going to make sure we rotate so the N for north is up, facing straight up. We also have that wedge piece on there. So that wedge piece is actually for two different reasons. One, that wedge piece angles it back up toward our eye if we want. But also we have this contour of the mask that rolls around like this. So we don't want the Northern Star facing off to our left, because when it hits the fan and we want to get out and have to make a critical decision in seconds, we don't want to have to do that calculation in our heads. So that wedge piece is also used to angle it back so it's facing in the front of us. So the wedge piece serves two different purposes. Angle it back toward the front of us and a little bit toward your eye. But that's why it's important to use those test strips and figure out exactly where you want it and how you want that wedge piece. One of the great things about the Northern Star is that that back piece swivels. So you can put it midline, you can put it down and to the left, you can put it down to the right. It's really up to you. You can put it anywhere you want. The other thing is today we're using a Scott mask, but the Northern Star can go in any mask. MSA, Interspiral, Avon, Scott, doesn't really matter. We made it so it can go into any mask that you currently are using. Just go ahead and stick it into place and let it go from there. It's a pretty simple concept. We try to make it as simple for the firefighter as possible. Hi everyone, Jeff Dykes with Northern Star Fire, talking to you about the waterproofness of the Northern Star and how we go ahead about cleaning our mask. So the easiest way to clean your mask is to go with your regular manufacturer's recommendations. If you're one of those departments that actually dunk their mask into a bucket of water, while the Northern Star is waterproof, we still recommend that you go ahead and remove the top housing, which is very simple. Pop the housing off, which only leaves the wedge piece back inside of your Northern Star. That allows you to dunk your mask, clean it the traditional way, and then when you're done, you simply take the top housing again and click it back into place. Now you're back in service. So washing should not be an issue for anyone, but it's important for you to follow your manufacturer's recommendations.
Many, attack team 1, 1st Division, last number of patients, A. Adamside, go to the key phase record. We need an exit.
All crews stand by for emergency traffic.
Command to attack team 1. Head toward the C. Charlie side of the B. Baker corner. Exit is available. This is command to fire ground. All teams accounted for. Mayday canceled.